All right, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, all the buttons. Just not the dislike, thumbs down button.
Yeah, we don't like
want
dislikes.
No, we don't want that one. Anyway, I wanted to do a quick video today, quacking about DACs, and quacks and DACs, and, there's a lot of talk out there about DACs. And Mike and I will be covering more on DACs in an upcoming podcast series, but I wanted to address a couple things that are out there, misconceptions. So one of the things that we hear people say incorrectly is that the MSB DACs sound like the EMM Labs DACs. Well, they couldn't be more different. Mike will be posting pictures in this video to show you. We carry MSB, and we're a dealer for EMM for over a year. And we had the DV2, we had the MA3, we had a lot of DACs from EMM Labs, and they couldn't be more different than MSB. If you think chalk tastes like cheese, then you would probably think they taste identical or they sound identical, okay? They don't. They're completely different. And anyone that is spreading information that the MSB and the EMM sound the same doesn't know what they're talking about. The EMM Labs, we've lived with them. We tried them on dozens of speakers with dozens of amps and preamps. Very detailed, very hyper detailed. Like, I always said if you were the type of person that grew up on MP3s and CDs and you never had exposure to vinyl or analog, that hyper in-your-face detail of the EMM Labs would be something that you would go for. Ironically, their MA3 product was a little bit smoother, but we don't carry the line anymore for a number of reasons. Number one, we brought it in because we had a lot of customers who they were legacy EMM Meitner clients. They may have had an MA1, or they may have had an EMM product in the past. We brought it in, frankly, we lived with it, we tried to get it right. It just wasn't for us. It's not my kind of sound. I don't think it's Mike's kind of sound because he's a vinyl guy. So if you are coming from the analog world, you like the sound of vinyl, you like the sound of tape, that kind of thing, nothing compares to the MSB. I mean, we've got lots of great DACs here. The MSB is the one that most sounds like tape and analog, and conversely, the EMM for us was the one that sounded the least like vinyl and tape. It's I'm not knocking the product. There are people out there that crave that detail and that kind of sound. They want to hear every single thing and overload their brain with all this information. If that's your kind of thing, that's great. It's a great product with a great history and a great legacy. Product. But for us, the MSB sound was the most analog, the most musical, the most like music that we heard. So I wanted to dispel that myth that somehow is floating around out there, and it couldn't be further from the truth. The second thing I want to talk about is there's, again, this misunderstanding that if you buy a really good, quote-unquote, expensive DAC, then the transport, the network transport, the server, the streamer, whatever you want to call it, feeding that DAC isn't important. Again, completely wrong. We're finding that the transport side, conversely with the software and the network that you have, all of those factors go into taking even a modest DAC to a whole new level. If you already have a really top quality, expensive DAC, you don't buy some Raspberry Pi and feed a $50,000 MSB DAC with it. You just don't. I mean, that's like buying a new Ferrari and then going to Walmart and putting tires on it. Walmart tires on it. Cheap tires. No, you just don't do that.
Yeah, it's your source. It is your streamer. Exactly. Your network transport is your true source.
Right. So you can't. A great DAC, an expensive DAC, can't save what is missed by the network transport, the streamer, the server, whatever you want to call it. It can't make up for that. It's not going to all of a sudden find the information and recompile it or something. It doesn't happen. So, I've been experimenting myself, and I have found it's so important to have that server side, that streamer side, and along with that, is the software and the network. So having all of those components right is really the foundation and allows your DAC to perform to its optimum level. So I wanted to talk about those two things and get that, sort of dispel that myth that's out there, that's been floating around. So we play with we play with a lot of equipment here, and we're very fortunate and that we can pass on some of this knowledge to you. But basically, don't believe people who are saying, "Oh, just buy an expensive DAC and don't worry about the streamer side." That's wrong.
Yeah,
that's wrong. You can have the most expensive DAC in the world and a crummy streamer, and it's going to take that DAC down to its knees.
Right.
You want to be able to feed that DAC the absolute best that you can. So there are great products that we sell. There's great products that other people sell. You can do your own homework, but just don't believe the nonsense that, oh, just buy an expensive DAC. It doesn't matter what streamer. If you do that, then the streamer part's not relevant. Wrong. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about something a little bit unrelated to DACs, but we've just been doing an experiment for people. If you've been following our channel the last few days, people have been asking us to post this system that we're using with the preamp, without the preamp. Again, kind of related to DACs, there's this thinking out there that, no preamp is the best preamp. Wrong again. There's the volume control on DACs is good. It can be sufficient. It can get you by, but it's never going to replace a really well-designed analog DAC, analog preamp. You just can't replace the preamp, with just the volume control on a DAC. So you can get by for a while, and you'll be fine, and but once you put a good preamp in your system, now I'm talking about, look, you don't have to spend a lot of money.
Right.
The PASS XP12,
yep.
The XP17, the XP22 and the 32, you can put any of those in, and wow, you're going to take doesn't matter what DAC you have, you're going to take it to a whole new level. The Boulder preamps, the Sim Audio preamp, there's a lot of preamps that are going to be able to take your entire system to a new level. So if you're thinking cut the preamp and just go with the DAC with the volume control, you can do it for a while. It's like a convenience thing,
right.
But over time, you're really going to be missing out. You'll find out when you put a good preamp in your system what it absolutely delivers sonically. So just want to talk about those three things, dispel some of those myths that are out there. Obviously, do your own research, do your own listening. You may find completely different. That's perfectly fine, but
And sound off in the comments. We want to hear it. We want to hear what you think.
Yep. If you think we're wrong and you can get by with just the volume control on the DAC, great. That's fine. All the power to you. But our experimenting here, and we have a lot of DACs with volume controls, a lot of expensive ones, and a lot of modestly priced ones, and none of them, honestly, come close to when we put even a simple PASS XP12 or Class A or Sim Audio or whatever in preamp in the mix. Boom, goes to a whole new level. So anyway, thanks for watching. Keep watching. We're going to have some really exciting news for you guys coming up in August. And keep watching the channel, subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Cheers.